Welcome back to Hey Kentucky. We are now joined by former Wildcat Austin MacGinnis, the kicker extraordinaire, to talk about the draft last night. Before we do that, you kicked in the AAF. How was that?
The AAF was great for the 8 weeks it lasted.
But what about those 8 weeks?
The 8 weeks, we wanted to get 2 more weeks out of it, but no, it was good for me. I got some film again, and so hopefully after the draft ends, a team gives me a call and lets me get another chance.
We hope you get into a training camp this fall, and we'll come see you. Let's talk about the draft. Josh Allen goes 7th to Jacksonville. Fell a couple spots because the weird pick by the Raiders at 4. Do you like where he ended up?
I think that's a perfect fit for him in Jacksonville. It's a defensive team. They got studs throughout the defense, and I think him being able to go there with some veterans on the D-line will just allow him to flourish right away. It's not going to be a rebuilding process.
Yeah, I mean, he's with a lot of other good talent on the defensive line, and he will be able to sort of get to the quarterback. He might actually be the guy blocked the least, whereas if he went to other teams, it might be much more difficult for him.
Exactly. So, I mean, I think this is just going to help him have a great rookie season, and I think Josh Allen's a game changer wherever he went to, but being there in Jacksonville with the secondary they have, it's just going to be an outstanding year for him.
You played with him. Like, how much of a physical freak is he? And when did you realize how good he could be? Because he came in not highly touted.
Yeah, I think not this year, but the last year he started to show that he was a really good player. And then this year with the birth of his son, he just became a man amongst boys. He just started to dominate. I mean, he dropped back in coverage like 50% of the time, and he still put up 24 sacks, or 17 sacks I think he had this year. And
that's one of the crazy statistics, that he dropped in coverage half the time and still got that many. I mean, there were some players who actually had twice as many attempts at sacks, and he still ended up getting them. All right, so now we head to the 2nd and 3rd round tonight. Do you expect any UK guys to go in the 2nd, 3rd round, maybe Lonnie Johnson? Yeah,
I do think Lonnie is going to end up getting picked tonight, and I think he's done a great job of just speaking himself into being a high-round draft pick, because every interview he has, he just talks about how he's a first-rounder, and he had Jalen Ramsey tweeting about him, and so he's kind of took the Trump approach and just kind of talked himself into going to where he wants to go. You know, the law of attraction, as some might say, but he's a good ball player, and I hope he gets a good little signing bonus.
It is kind of amazing how much he's risen. I mean, he was in that very deep secondary for Kentucky, and most of the time at Kentucky, he was kind of the forgotten guy with Westry and Beatty. Why do you think he's risen so much besides his talking?
I think he looks the part of a DB, a defensive back in the NFL, and he had a couple big interceptions, and I just think his length.
Yeah,
his
very long,
his length, and
he's the prototype of what they do now.
Yeah,
okay, so probably the next 3 guys who could get picked in some order: Mike Edwards, Bunchy Stallings, Benny Snell. Of those guys, what do you think the NFL futures for them are?
I think they're bright wherever they end up. I hope a team takes a chance. You know, with these NFL drafts, you never know what team likes which player. And like, talk about Benny, for instance. He might not be a 3-down back right away in the NFL, but he might be a role player like Anderson was for the Rams this year. He kind of came in late and was just a good compliment to Todd Gurley. So
why do you think he's so good? I mean, like, his measurables, he didn't run that fast. He's not really that strong. Why do you think he's so effective?
Because at the end of the day, football is a game, and if you're good at that specific game, if you got the timing right coming off blocks, you see the holes, and you know how to hit them. He's got good lateral. He doesn't go down off of first contact. I mean, I think he just has the intangibles that might not show up when you're just running linear or having him do some shuffle drills. But
all right, there are 4 or 5 guys who may or may not get drafted, but who might have a career. Derek Beatty, Chris Westry, Darius West, C.J. Conrad, Jordan Jones. You played with all those guys. If you're going to pick one of them that you think we look back and go, Hill is an NFL good player, who would it be?
Jordan Jones.
Why is that?
I think he's fast. He can run sideline to sideline, and that's needed in today's NFL. And he's just a freak athlete.
And he turned the crazy down a little bit this
did.
last year. You saw him at his but this year he was pretty normal.
Yeah, he was good off the field this year, and Jordan's always one of the most loved guys in the locker room. So wherever he goes, he'll fit in great. There's never any locker room issues.
Well, that's good.
So
well, Austin, thank you very much. We are going to be rooting for Austin to be kicking for somebody. Look, I was Cody Parkey. If they'd had you, we'd have been fine. Exactly. I know you can't say that, but I would.